Hi, I'm Erin from Top Shelf DIY. Thanks for watching. I'm going to start my Tools 101 series with a tutorial on the almighty power drill. Now, very basic, very versatile tool, but if you're new to home DIY, this can be intimidating. I myself, 3 years ago, got it as a home housewarming gift and had no idea what to do with it. So if that's where you're starting from, no worries, I will catch you up to speed. So to get started, really there's only three things you need. You need your bare hands, you need your drill, and you may need safety glasses if you're going to be drilling a hole and there's a chance that something could be flying back at you. You don't want anything getting in your eyes, so better safe than sorry. The next thing you should know is that there are two different functions for your drill. The first is to actually use it like a hand screwdriver on steroids. It's going to put your screw in the wall or in your surface very quickly and efficiently, and a lot better than having to screw it in by hand. The second function of your drill is it can actually put holes in things, put pilot holes is what they're called, so that you can get your screws in your surface in the first place. Because sometimes if you just try to drill your screw directly into the wall, it's going to take a lot of work and it's kind of unsafe, and it probably will go in crooked. So you're better off making a small hole first so that your screw gets in a lot more efficiently and a lot more easily than sitting there and trying to force it in without any hole to start. The next thing you should know is that there are a wide variety of different bits that basically go on the end of your drill depending on whatever function you need to perform. There's the typical drill bits for putting holes in your wall or your surface. This one's actually for a Craig jig. This one's actually for putting a large hole, say, in your desk if you need to get your cords through it, and it actually took this big chunk of wood out of my desk. And you have a bunch of these if you're actually screwing a screw into some kind of surface. And really they're all different kinds of bits. I don't even know what the names are for them. Just test the head of your screw in these different sizes to figure out which one is the right match. So now that we've talked about the different functions of your drill and the different accessories that go into your drill, let's talk about how to actually use it. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure your drill is actually charged. And this actually comes off by pushing in on this red button, and this is the extra one, but it simply just slides right into this base like so, and you plug it into the wall, and you'll know if you try to use it and it's not giving you any juice or very low juice that it needs to be charged. So just simply push in on this red button and that will click right off. Next, you can determine which gear you'd like to use. I usually have it in 2 gear. I don't really think it makes a huge difference for just basic home DIY projects, but you can kind of test it on different modes if you need a lot of force. The real big thing for force and power is this ring of torque, which I call the ring of fire. Basically just determines how much speed and force you're going to be driving that screw in or that drill bit in. The next thing you want to do is, after you've decided really which drill bit or bit you want to put in there, you simply put it in the tip here and you're going to tighten it by rolling it to the left. And when it clicks like that, you know it's locked into place. Next, you've got this little button here. It turns forward or backward. Now, if you try to screw a screw into the wall in backward mode, you're going to feel really silly because it's just going to stay in place. It may make a small hole, but it's not going to go very far. So, forward, and you squeeze this little trigger. Boom. And when you want to loosen it up, you just turn it the opposite way, and your bit will come right out. So just a couple of quick tips, and then I'm going to do a quick demonstration and you will be all ready to go. So the first tip is if you need to determine the size of your drill bit that is appropriate for the screw that you are going to be putting into the wall or into your surface, you simply hold your drill bit in front of your screws, and you should be able to see the threads kind of poking through on the sides. Hopefully you can see that. If you can't, your drill bit is too big. And if you're not sure, it's always better to start with a slightly smaller bit and work your way up, because if you make your hole too big, your screw's not going to stick in the hole, the pilot hole that you're making. So my next tip is when you are drilling your hole, and I'm not actually going to put a hole in my garage wall, you want to hold your drill as level as possible. Now if you drill like this, or you drill like this, you are not going to get a good fit on your screw. You will possibly break your drill bit, and you may possibly break your screw. And it just all kinds of wrong go on when this happens. I speak from personal experience. So case in point, hold your drill nice and level, and apply a little forward force as well. That's my other tip. You don't want to just sit there and hold it. You actually want to push forward, and that applies for if you're drilling in a screw, putting that screw into the wall. You want to apply a forward force to really get it in there and kind of just give it a good forward push as you're putting that screw into the wall. That will ensure it's a good fit and it doesn't slip, and you just get it in there as efficiently and as quickly as possible. Okay, so my last tip is, let's say you need to drill a hole into a brick or a really thick piece of wood. You might need to invest in or borrow an impact driver, which has 2 to 3 times the torque and force to put holes in and to put screws into those really dense surfaces. So if you ever hear of an impact driver, or maybe you've seen one, they look very much like a drill, but they're smaller. And they're a lot more compact, but they're really efficient at getting holes into those denser surfaces. Just as an FYI, maybe you'll need it in the future, or maybe you've heard of it, but that's something to think about. So to do a quick demonstration, I have got my drill bit locked into place. Let's just click it. Okay, I've got enough power. I've got this pushed forward, and now I'm just going to demonstrate putting a hole in this piece of wood, and I've already put a hole in right next to it, and there's enough space behind it, so this should be no problem. But just to demonstrate how best to drill a hole, here we go. Done. And now you could kind of put it in backwards motion, and that will help you take it out. So lastly, I'm just going to demonstrate using this pilot hole that I've already made with this size drill bit. Should be perfect for the screw. I'm just going to kind of set this in here. I've already got my correct bit in place and tightened. Let's just double check. Yeah, can't go any farther. And make sure I'm in forwards. I'll push that in. And I'm just going to apply my forward force, as I mentioned before, and it should go in pretty easily because I've already made this little hole here to start. Let's do it. Beautiful. And I'm good to go. So that, my friends, is how you use a power drill. Versatile, basic, amazing, will get the job done. Take care of your tools and they will take care of you. Happy building and good luck!